What?
Closer to the computer is what makes it bigger. Okay. Good morning. Oh, sorry, I cackle at that because I was trying to make it look all motorized and pretty and like it was done in post edit.
Yeah.
We're low tech here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Thursday morning.
I asked Bernie this morning, can I exchange a Thursday for a Monday? And Bernie goes, how about a Friday? I'm like, no. Friday's even longer
Fridays
than
suck. No.
Yeah.
Reminds me I have to email someone about a Monday. Anyway, we'll see if that happens. So many things on my to-do list. Oh my gosh. Good morning. Although you'll probably be watching this afternoon sometime because that's life. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Yes. She's Liz. She'll introduce herself in a second. I'm Rebecca. I'll introduce myself now. I'm Rebecca. I am the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in glorious downtown Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
Enough said.
I was like, am I going to say downtown Brevard, North Carolina?
Whatever.
But, I do. But
if people have been watching us regularly, they knew that by now.
Yeah, and you introduced yourself on where we are, so.
We're having a debate over. Y'all really
no show notes. No show notes.
Well, okay, maybe minuscule. I don't want to forget, but that doesn't really count as show notes, I don't think. So, I keep going back to the genius for this, or the genus, or I don't know if it's genius, but at the beginning of this is when people came into the shop. That was a thing at some point, right? Mm-hmm. We would always say, hey, here are our sit and stitch times. We're down to 2 now. We used to have 4, 2 that are virtual now. And we say, here are our sit and stitch times. You can come sit and knit anytime you want. But if you want more than the Liz and Rebecca show, which is not always entertaining, come to the sit and stitch, meet other people.
Sometimes it's boring because we have yarn to put away and there's grumbling
and it's mostly grumbling, which some people find very entertaining, but we're not going to broadcast that on YouTube. So, but yeah, now apparently the Liz and Rebecca show is all we got. So it's all you get unless you come to our virtual sit and stitches, which are wonderful. And they are Tuesday and Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US. Details in the comments now. I think I've made it a regular part of the description to figure out how to do that on Zoom. So, this is why I get all confused, because, okay, our sit and stitch is Tuesday and Friday. But the days you can come in and shop outside, come to the shop, not in the shop, to the shop, and shop outside, are Tuesday and Thursday. But sometimes Tuesday, Friday will roll off my tongue because there's too many different things that go with Tuesday.
And we have appointments for lesson help, one on Wednesday and one on Friday. Morning. And appointments to come in the shop to shop, one appointment on Wednesday morning or afternoon.
See, it doesn't just happen to me.
It's starting to get pretty complicated.
We have a system that makes sense if you know the system. But yes, it can feel kind of complicated.
But our shop hours were kind of complicated even.
Yeah, because we would be open late 2 days a week for the sit and stitch, and then we'd be open to 6 most days, except on Thursdays when I had to go to choir rehearsal and we shut early. And then we're closed on Mondays, and sometimes we're open on Sunday afternoons.
Yeah. Trying to explain hours was always interesting.
I feel like, and classes were on Saturdays all day, and I feel like it's so much easier now. If it starts with a T, you can come and shop outside. And by that, we mean, because my sister was like, so what do you bring outside? Like, what's outside for people to go through? No. I mean, and here's the deal. we don't have the kind of shop with good ventilation. I mean, we love our new bigger space. I say new, we've almost been here a year, which is really weird to think about. We love this space, but ventilation's not great. We have one tube that runs the length of this huge shop that just kind of poofs air out way up above our heads. I want to say 20 feet up. And that's it.
And then one door.
And one door. No, I mean, it's a double door.
There's no opening windows. Yeah. There's no cross ventilation.
There's no one way in, one way out, which would be great. You know, lots of things that are not pandemic friendly. And on top of that, we don't have merchandise that we can just, you know, spray down the whole shop with a bleach solution and let it sit. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if we sprayed down this shop with bleach?
Some of it, to some extent, could look cool. Tie-dyed yarn.
Everything would become splatter shop.
Look, no.
Oh my gosh. All these pretties behind you. Would be only pretty for some people.
Yeah.
So, and the amount of space, if we wanted to try to wipe down with bleach wipes, like, but not like heavy bleach wipes, but just wipes for surfaces, we couldn't do it to the yarn. And we don't have enough time as it is to try to keep the shop relatively tidy. What I talked about yesterday being the huge pile behind Liz, we actually took care of, but we have new piles because we had a shopper yesterday.
New boxes, like our quarantine box is now up to a big box, a medium box, a small box, and 2 baskets. And it's only Thursday.
And we're still trying to put away. That was my goal. That's part of why, well, I was looking for yarn is why I dumped things on the floor. But my goal this week, by now, was to get last week's quarantine yarn put away.
Speaking of quarantine yarn, I think you threw the one skein that was on the table for a purchase into your quarantine.
No. I put it on the counter.
Oh.
Excuse us while we have a side discussion. The sweet tooth?
Yeah.
I put it on the counter yesterday. Okay. There's still the second one we have to find.
We have to, yeah.
But we have to.
Yeah.
And someone bought 2. So,
sorry.
I told you, Liz and Rebecca show. This is what people would get if they came to the shop when it's not a sit and stitch time. They would get us figuring stuff out. So yeah, we don't just have bins outside for people to paw through because we wouldn't be able to keep an eye on it. We'd have to sit out there with it all day.
And the other thing
and then it'd be so gross.
Rains so frequently, so even if we had an easy wheelie system to wheel stuff out and wheel it back in, like with our indie dyers, once we came over here, they could set up inside.
And that was amazing.
And that was amazing.
Outside was dangerous and hallway, you know.
Yeah, but like before that, they were setting up under, it's a 4-foot wide extension to the ceiling above the shop. But if the rain blows any wind blows that rain.
And it's a man-made wind tunnel.
Yeah, you're completely wet. So like with the amount of rain we've been getting, we, even with a tent, we couldn't do it.
Yeah, and we do have a new tent that today we're going to test because it's overcast and possibly going to rain today. We're going to test how weatherproof it is. But you know those easy up type tents, usually if they get wet enough and you accidentally touch it, the water comes right through. So anyway, long story incredibly long to say that our model on Tuesdays and Thursdays is you don't need an appointment. You might have to wait for our attention, but we will bring in batches, like most, if not the entire shop out. It's the same way we do indoor shopping here. Like yesterday with our indoor shopper, shout out to Helen. She mentioned cottons and she gave us some types of cotton she was looking for. And really we started with just almost every one skein of almost every cotton we have in the shop laid out on this table. One of the reasons this table looks so clean right now is we put it all in quarantine. So, but it's overwhelming, but it's a way to start. And so someone outside, if they say, I want to look at some blue yarn, if we can figure out if they like thin or thick yarn or like what weight, what fiber, that's an even better starting point, but we can bring out tons of stuff. And then they can say, no, 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 yes. Ooh, I got to feel this one.
Well, when a gal walked up, she had a different pattern. This was last week. or earlier this week. I can't remember. She had a different pattern.
Yeah.
And she walked up and she looked through the window and saw your papillon, the monarch butterfly. And she was like, that is striking. I want to make that.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, want to make that. And she goes, do you have any other colors of the color changing yarn? So I just grabbed one of each and brought them outside, and she picked out what one she wanted. And then we did the contrast color.
Yeah,
it was like, it was like, so it's a lot of running, but pieces at a time, it,
yeah, I mean, okay, so here's my little devolution into both yay and is yes, it's a lot of running for us, but we would happily do it for you to keep you safe and to keep us safe. The flip side of that is it's not like it's fun for us or we enjoy it. Like we have people who come up and they're like, well, this seems overcomplicated. Why can't I just go inside? I'd spend more money. Heard that more than once.
We would love for everybody to.
It's not like we're enjoying it, but we're happy to do it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense, right?
Yeah. We would love for everybody to come inside, but
believe me,
it'd
be so much easier. Life would be so much easier.
Even with our inside shopping, we're limiting it to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you did manage to get to come in, really, how much do you get? Like spending in an hour.
An hour might seem like a long time, but it's really not.
It runs fast, especially if you have a list of projects or,
I think, if anything, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. It goes fast.
I think there's been people who have brought a list, and that's awesome. We're like, yay, you're prepared. And we've helped them outside. And if anything, I mean, we did it like people with a list this long, and it's like boom, 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 we're done.
Yeah, it's almost faster to bring.
It's almost faster if we can give you selections. I mean, with the downside is you can't come in and go, ooh, I've never noticed a yarn like that before. That's cool. I'm going to try it. That's the downside, and that's why we're doing the VSC as often as we can to show you things that you normally would have come inside and been like, ooh, I've never seen that before. That's cool. So we're doing what we can. Anyway, long aside, wasn't that? And part of that is on Thursdays, because we have such a crazy work week, we don't have as much progress to show y'all. But I do have some things to show you and some things to talk about. But these are things on my mind.
I found a completely different project last night, so it doesn't even relate to what I brought in. So
so there's stuff we can talk about. Speaking of online, a reminder that we have a sale all this month because it's our anniversary month. Yay to having passed the 3-year mark in business. Shocking. So weird to think about. But really awesome. 3 years in business, all August. Wow, 3 years. And I should have activated it so that number 3 or written out 3 both should work. If you put that in the discount code in your shopping cart before you go to pay, you'll save 20% on whatever you buy online. I cannot stress enough. We had a day, we just rolled this out this week. We had multiple people on Tuesday who walked up to the shop and said, I get the discount on this, right? And no, if you buy online. And no, we do not have all of our products online. I'm sorry, I am trying. I am not superhuman. I wish there was a button I could push and everything in this shop was magically online. I looked the other day. If you count individual colors of yarn and individual types of needles and things, we have over 1,100 items in the shop. Now, if you take that down to, well, there's all these needles, but they count as one item because they're all 16 inches long, we have about 150 items in the shop. It's still a lot. And I'm going to work my bum off all month of August to get more things in the shop for you all. So it's not like, well, I have a sale. I'm gonna slow down and not put more stuff online because that's nope. I want you guys to save. I want you guys to have fun. I only have so many hours in the day, and I need to knit some of the time when I'm home, both to de-stress and to show you more cool stuff. It's kind of a double-edged sword. So I can't spend all my time at home putting products online because my brain would ooze out my ears. I could have Liz do it.
And sorry. First off,
funny.
She's just a little bit of a control freak to let me do it. And second off, electronics and I don't get along.
Yeah, well, and the first reason she gave might be why we've had some knitters say, hey, we can help. And that's wonderful. But I am a control freak and I kind of need it done my way. And my way will have errors to it. My way is not perfect. But then I know what's happened. And I have to give you the keys to the castle to have you help me in that. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
The other thing is sometimes it takes longer for us to explain something to someone. And like if Rebecca were to explain it to me and I got going, I would still have a billion questions and need to call her every 5 minutes because that's kind of how that works. I can't just watch her do it like stacking bins.
The flip side is like, as much as of a control freak as I am, I could not run this shop without Liz. I'll just, and you can be like, what?
Best boss.
See, we'll both embarrass each other this way. I could not do this by myself. But that being said, too many people involved in it until I get some more time and energy to help that out is not going to work either. It's, again, catch-22, double-edged sword, whatever metaphor you want to put in there. Yeah. Okay, yes. So, I'm looking at my list here. I think this is our 50th episode.
Is it really?
Of the Straight Up Sideshow. I'm pretty sure that our Monday, your Tuesday, was episode 49. This is 50. Whatever way our show is half a century episode wise old. That's weird. That feels really weird. Just like we've almost been in this space a whole year.
Yeah. Feels weird. Yeah.
Time has no meaning anymore though, so I get it. But I had to mention that. That's on my little list here. This is episode 50. Yeah. Our show is old.
Well, we kind of are doing.
Well, we are doing
twice a week.
Yeah. If we count, which
VSCs, means we've been doing it 25 weeks.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I
over 2 months, right?
That fast.
No,
and
not 2 months.
We've been doing it since like February.
Over February. 6 months. I couldn't math right. Like 24, if we go by no. Hang on.
See, I can't math like that.
25 weeks. 4 weeks. A month. There's people at home right now going like, oh my God, you can't do math that fast. Not right now. My brain is oozing out my ears. Yeah, that's 6 months.
I just know it's a lot.
Well, and if you add in the VSCs,
we're at like 75. No, yeah,
71
because we started a little late.
We did VSC 21 yesterday. So go us.
Wow.
And we'll keep them coming because I know for you guys and for me, although I need to rest, it's a really long stretch between Thursday and Tuesday. I do put out my tips and tricks on Monday. That's one a week is all I can do of those. That's a little.
You were trying to do 2 a week on those. And
I was trying to do like 2 a day, like 1 crochet, 1 knit. Oh my gosh.
It was a lot.
I'm tired. I have other things. I have to drive out and get shirts that my parents ordered on Monday. So that's a drive, and so not 2 videos on Monday. All right, let's turn to, I have other things to talk about, but let's turn to actual showing you knitting things. I made a little bit of progress on my night shift.
Ooh.
Look at that.
I like it.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had to like during knit night, I had to back out 10 rows. Because I didn't read the directions right. I went on
Sorry,
autopilot.
I've been giving her grief for that, like, so much.
This isn't the only time on this show I've had to say that. So,
yeah.
Everybody's human. So.
Are they though?
So, okay. Do you see where the blue and purple background? It goes to like right up here. and then it looks green, that's because all of it was my color A background up until the color F started to be the background. And this here, the big bubbles, I had kept going with the blue as the background, blue, purple. And then I read the directions and went, this doesn't work right, and realized I was supposed to switch down here. So I had to back stuff out. But let's go over what's happened so far. And then I'll show you the part I really like that I wish I'd gotten more done on. So A background and B foreground bubbles down here. A background and C foreground bubbles here. A background, still the same. Look at all the color changing though. A background and D bubbles. A background and E bubbles. Oh, stuck on the tails. And some of these were really gray and you almost can't see them. A background and little bubbles with F. And then suddenly F becomes the background here, the green. And E becomes the bubbles. And I just started up here. This is so pretty. You can't see real color on the video, but it's this gorgeous purpley going to green. The big bubbles up top here, F is the background, and I want to say D are the bubbles. Whoops, I'm stuck on the microphone. I am having so much fun with this. These are my bubble colors. This is my F background. Take a look at how much of F I've used up, right? As it gets bigger. This is how much of A. Again, these are like in her pattern. This is the Nightshift by Andrea Mowry. I should have said that at the beginning. And she has a code if you want to follow her pattern of A through F for colors. It's 6 colors. And I'm using Feederbrook Farm. Oh, it's all over there. But these are the chunkies of them. I'm using DK weight. Feederbrook Farm are sheep to shop. It's her sheep and she does everything in house and she dyes it and it's wonderful. All different colorways online. I may or may not have put in the description the names of the colors. We have all the colors online. I will tell you, this is my color A and what I have left, and I'm going to weigh it in a second because according to her instructions, I'm done with color A. Look how much I have left. She wrote this for Spin Cycle Yarns, which does the same color fadey, crazy awesomeness as Feederbrook, but they're 50 gram skeins. So ours, for 6 grams, 6 balls of yarn, Feederbrook for us runs about $30, a little under. So does Spin Cycle, roughly. You get twice the yardage with us that you do with Spin Cycle for about the same price. So I have 2 thoughts on what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow the pattern as written so everyone can see what happens if you do what you're supposed to as written. And then I'm either going to keep going because I want to use more of this up, or I could do a second one in a different color combination. I haven't really decided. But part of, if that's possible, is going to be, do I have enough here for another? Have I only used half of it up? Here's the big test. Beep. I'm probably going to beep that out because we don't like to swear on this show.
Wow.
According,
I wouldn't have thought.
According to the weight thing on this, I think I know how to beep out stuff on this show. We're going to find out. I just put this on the scale and it's 70 grams. I only use 30 grams of my 100 gram skein.
So you would still have yardage left if it was a 50 gram ball.
Yeah, to do all this background. And color A, according to her instructions, color A never comes back in again. However, she gives you a recipe where you can change colors whenever you want. She has recommendations on when to change it. But I want to see what happens if I just follow what she did. Because again, the idea is that you use colors that you wouldn't normally, like this is the best combo, that you wouldn't normally put together. And now I'm using the ones at the other end of the spectrum, which kind of go more together. But, you know, maybe I'll try a different color combo if I make another one, or I'll just make this one really big and I'll say, here is where the pattern stops.
That's what I did. And then I kind of got big and then was like, I still have a bunch of yarn left, but I'm going to stop.
Yeah. Hers is amazing and big, and you saw it on Tuesday. I have 68 grams left of color F, and I'm not done with color F. So it's going to use more up of that. But I'll let people know how much of the skein I have left when I'm done with each color in the shawl. Because here's the deal with that, is we want to put together kits that are 6 colors, right? Both of Feeder Brook, $30 a skein, and of Cascade Superwash 220 Wave. Does the same type of idea with not as high quality of a yarn, still good. That's $13 a skein. So do the math on that. What this could mean is you could buy 3 colors and still get a shawl as big as the one that's written.
When it first came out,
it won't have as many colors in it.
They were like, get 2 balls of Noro Ito.
Yeah.
So, you know,
and do it
and run
Ito
the
are the big 200
back
gram
and
balls.
forth. Yeah. So it's any color changey yarn.
So it depends. I mean, you could. What it means is there's a good chance, and I won't know till I'm done. We're gonna put up shawl kits with 6 different skeins of yarn, completely different. And we're going to put up cowl kits with 3 skeins of yarn. And as long as you're okay with it not having quite as many different colors in it, you might be able to get a shawl out of a cowl kit. Everybody wins. So we had a knitter who came by Tuesday afternoon, and she picked some colors of Feeder Brook and some colors of Superwash 220 Wave.
She's going to mix them.
She's going to mix them. They're about the same thickness. They feel a little different because one is it's Blue-Faced Leicester Merino, not Merino, wool. Sorry, Blue-Faced Leicester, and one is a Superwash wool. So they feel a little different, but it's still going to be an amazing shawl. There's nothing that says you can't mix fibers, colors, weights. Even weights. Liz did that with
mine.
These are about the same weight.
Mine was worsted and chunky, or bulky in the Lorna's lace.
Yeah.
It's chunky.
Anyway. That's what I want to talk about with mine, and I'm loving the top of it. And what do you want to talk about with your knitting? And then I have some wrap-up notes.
So I just finished the last row, the 20
stripe, whatever,
the
bubble,
stripe,
whatever
bubble,
you want to call
whatever.
Papillon
on my Papillon.
This is the Daydream Dye Works with the dark contrast.
With the dark contrast. I have the
like. This is what on Tuesday I was like, oh, it's so pretty. And then we ran out of time to even show it. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
And it looks so completely different than the white contrast, the light. So I was going to, I should be past my 3 rows by now of my contrast color. But last night, I got distracted by yarn.
I know the
balls.
Story.
I went on a yarn ball hunt and found most of my hand spun yarns, because shout out to Shia, Carol, Kathleen, Amanda, Amy D. There's a few on our knit nights who spin, and occasionally talk about, they all spin with a spinning wheel. I drop spin and it's different, but they all sit there and, you know, Shia just bought a spinning wheel and everybody's
She's still waiting for it to come. I hope it's come.
Spinning. And I'm like, I haven't done that in a while. And I'd really like to use, to do something, especially now that I can knit, and use a little less yarn than if I crocheted it. If I crocheted it, A, it would be really heavy, and B, I'd use a third more yarn. And so I'm like, I want to do something that, anyway, but I have to ply it. And then there's other steps involved. So
it's stuff. We'll talk about it another time if we get a chance.
So I pulled out all my stuff and I applied 2 balls that were about that big each together, but it took me till 11 o'clock because I might not have started until like 8. But it was sunset time, I think, when I started. So
sunset time.
Well, I sent sunset pictures. Anyway, it was crazy. So I didn't even finish a row on that. And then Friday, so there was
That's okay. I don't even know when I last touched my Papillon.
There was one squirrel taking me away from something else. And then Friday night,
That's a bunny. Oh well.
A bunny squirrel.
How do you do a squirrel with hands? Like.
And then Tuesday night during knit night, I was working on my Papillon, and I was like, "Yeah, this is getting boring. I don't know why I need to start another project because I have all these leftovers now." And I
said no knitter ever.
I have leftovers. I've made 2 Daydream. I've made 2 Daydream Dye Works Papillons that are all Daydream Dye Works except for the contrasting color.
Dude, Liz, you're just slacking off.
This is how much I have for making 2 out of, big balls.
Because she has so many different colors.
Mini skeins. I'm using about 30 different colors. So 29 something. Anyway, and I was like, have all this yarn. And I was going to make a gnome hat. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to make a hap shawl, HAP shawl from,
I'll see if I can find a Ravelry pattern. But I
have one. I'll give you the name that I'm doing. Anyway, you make a big square and you use fingering weight yarn, and they recommend an 8, and I'm bumping it up to a 9.
Of course she is.
And you go till you have so many stitches. You just increase 1 stitch every time you flip around, and then you get so wide, and then you decrease your stitches, and you get a diamond, and then you pick up, and it's thousands of yards.
In a very loose sense, it is like a corner-to-corner blanket.
Yes.
In a very loose sense.
They're designed to be great big squares that you would fold in half.
So it's like a double triangle shawl. It's like she's working on it like a triangle shawl right now. And when it gets big enough, she's gonna
then I go back and do the other side.
She's gonna make it a rectangle shawl.
And then it has this feather and fan or lacy stuff around the edges, depending on whose pattern you found. And but you have to pick up stitches all the way around the edge of the square, and you build off of that. So.
Oh my gosh, you have to pick up stitches around the whole edge of the...
Yeah. but the stitches are easy to find because you pick up through the eyelet.
Because are you yarning over as you start?
You yarn over every time you start a row.
I remember the first time someone brought in a really old pattern and the yarn over was before you start the row, and I was like, what? I have learned.
To increase on the hap shawl, you yarn over before you start the shawl. You knit across, and on the last loop, which was your yarn over from the first or the last round, you knit through the back loop, and you get all this little lacy bumpy edges on
super cute
both sides, and that's where you pick up the stitches to attach the lace.
I gotcha.
Or the rest of it.
I have to ask, what is the colorway?
This colorway is pocket
watch. Have we had that in the shop before? Or did you get it straight from Emerald?
No, it came to the shop, and we got 2 skeins of it, and the other person shall remain nameless, but it was gone within like 2 minutes of.
Hey Emerald, if you're watching, I know we don't have much room to play around with. If it hasn't been dyed already, pocket watch might be nice. But then again, I don't ever keep any of Emerald's yarn because it's so pretty. It needs a good home. But oh my gosh, that is gorgeous.
I've been
or
saying that.
maybe if there's some in her Etsy shop, I'll just have to buy it straight from Emerald and keep other stuff in my shop.
It's this row too. This section.
It's got these blues and bronzes and like
it looks like
greens and I just noticed the time.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry,
it's gorgeous. No. I wasted so much time in the beginning with my personal vendettas against life that that's beautiful. So
it's going to be chunky. I'm going to go until I get tired of the yarn, and then I'm going to switch out yarn, and it's going to be the scrappiest hap shawl ever.
Which is like, so the Nightshift has a theory of intentional scrappiness in a way. Intentional, see what happens with color changing yarn, and then just doing scrappiness can be so, like, if this is beautiful and it's like unplanned, but let it do whatever the heck it's going to do. What Liz is doing with scraps is going to, like, use your scraps, have fun. Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Some of it you can plan, some of
Siri just tried to record that and figure out what I wanted.
Don't. Like, so I've kind of been swirling on some of my, I don't know. I finished a couple of projects and now I've got to start some projects.
No. My sarcastic said no knitter ever. I don't know if Shy has ever said that. She's probably squirreled on what to start next, but once she starts, she finishes. Shia posted on Instagram, I think it's Black Crafty Girl now is her handle if you want to check it out. She finished her witching hour, and oh my gosh, it is so gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. Black Crafty Magic. I hope Shia doesn't mind that I just put her Instagram handle out there because it's so pretty. And if she does, I will issue a retraction on Tuesday. So really quickly, because it is like 2 minutes to 10, and at that point we can't ignore the phone or someone coming up to the door because that's our business model, and we love people and we need to help them. I had a little list here of things to mention, which I'm going to do fast. I'm sorry. Becky and Lizzy, dear Becky and Lizzy, will probably start next week. We've had at least one person comment on our videos that they've sent us a letter, and I'm so excited. So we're going to do that on Thursdays. Obviously, we don't have any letters yet, but if you have questions, write it like a Dear Abby letter. Give us a fun signature that's maybe not your name or a play on your name to preserve the anonymity of people who are worried that they're writing dumb questions. But I bet you there are 6 million other knitters out there and crocheters out there who have the same dumb questions. So they're not dumb. They're things people need to know. And we'll answer them if we can. I'm so excited to do that next week. And a couple other notes, fun things I've discovered about notions we have that we didn't talk about when we VSC'd them. Just yesterday, we did the Coco Knits needle gauge. This super cute, go back and watch, about all the different flip out, test your needle. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Liz noticed, and I noticed this but didn't process what it was.
In the box, there's this little tiny bit of paper.
Itsy bitsy note.
Behind the thing. Mm-hmm. And it says, water soluble, keep away from moisture. Read more at cocoknits.com.
So this is not plastic. It might look like plastic. It is a plant-based fiber, so that it's not, it'll biodegrade over time. So once you're done with it or it gets lost, it is not polluting the environment is kind of the idea, or polluting the environment as little as possible. But what that means is, I don't know, if it gets caught in one of our monsoons, something might happen to it. So just know that going in, since we didn't we didn't alert people to that yesterday. The other thing is these fantastic, awesome needle gauges that we talked about. I am so used to using the Susan Bates one that has a 2-inch by 2-inch window, like done, that I assumed this was a 4-inch by 4-inch window. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, because most patterns will have a gauge that you need to measure over 4 inches. And I was measuring with a knitter, shout out Harriet, shout out to Harriet. That's who I was with. It was a crazy day. Vikings. And we were using this to try to measure her gauge to see what she needed to use for her sweater. And I was counting, and I'm like, this seems like an awful lot of stitches for 4 inches. The window is 4.5 inches. And then there's even a little bit of extra roundness for ergonomics that goes beyond that.
What's the is there extra centimeters on the back?
The centimeter side, yes. Swatch in centimeters is usually 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. It's 11.5 centimeters. So know that if you're using one of these lovelies and you're trying to measure 4 inches, don't just count everything that fills the window. Know where your 4 inches is for where you want to stop your counting. That is my public service announcement for the day. Thank you all for coming. Okay. And I think that covers the things on my little scribbled list here. And it is 10 o'clock now, so we have to go. We love you. We miss you all, even those of you we have not met yet, because since you're watching this, you are part of our community. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
And stay tuned, because hopefully, if I have a chance to rest this weekend, I'll have a lot more progress on a lot of fun things to show you on Tuesday or Monday. I almost said Monday. There's about 6 projects I want to start, but I really should finish some of the ones I've stalled out on. Said no knitter ever. So stay safe. Subscribe if you can. We are so close to 400 subscribers. We'll have a little party. We're already at 50 episodes. Why not get to 400 subscribers? Subscribe, hit the bell if you want to get alerts. At least give us a thumbs up if you laughed at all today with us or found out something you didn't know before. That's a good thing, right?
Don't forget to send your letters to Becky and Lizzy.
Yes. Dear Becky and Lizzy, Sun Dragon Art and Fiber, 35 South Broad Street, Brevard, North Carolina, 28712.
And if you have to email, you can send them to liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
There you go. And I'm getting twitchy because it's after 10 and it's really quiet right now. And I'm like, something's wrong.
Well, yesterday was a weird day. So we had a lot of sales and only one person was allowed in the shop because online.
People bought stuff online. Go check out our online shop. I'll keep working to get stuff up there. Definitely, if I have time. I'm in my knitting. Ah! I gotta go find that 4-letter word and beep it out.
See you Tuesday.
Bye.